Welcome back, you amazing 243,000 people. We're gonna try to do a video with Justice having a temper tantrum because he's being a D right now because he just woke up from a nap.
Refer to him as D, so
D.
he doesn't look at us.
Yeah.
The D.
Everyone keeps asking how much JJ weighs, and everyone's saying that he's gonna be bigger than Bruce Wayne in no time, and he's probably not gonna be on video, which is cool.
That's one of the common questions. People go, is he gonna be bigger than that one? And it's like, we don't know.
I've been documenting JJ's weights here and there, not like every single day, but I do have quite a bit. We picked up JJ on January 9th, and funny enough, he weighed the exact same as Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, when we picked him up at 7.5 weeks, was 17.2 pounds. JJ was a little bit under 8 weeks at 17.2 pounds.
The decimal is what kills me.
I know it, right?
I would have thought it was funny regardless, but the fact that they were like, to the decimal. So it was kind of funny getting him at 17.2. It made me think, holy, is he gonna be the same size as Bruce Wayne?
You can kind of judge how big your dog's gonna be by tracking their weights. Obviously, if they're not growing very fast, you can expect them to be on the smaller end of things. And if they're growing pretty fast, you can expect them to be on the larger end of things. But you really can't predict how big they're gonna be. Funny enough though, I did guess Bruce Wayne's exact weight. I said he's probably gonna be 150 to 155. He's 155, and I said that at like the 10-week mark. Partially, I was judging off his parents' weights, because his parents were both big. Justice's parents are pretty big. The father's not quite as big, I don't think, as Ruru. And this breed grows anywhere between 2 and 5 pounds a week. 1 week they may grow 2 pounds, 1 week they may grow 5 pounds. Puppies within the same litter aren't even gonna grow the same rate. You know, Justice could be bigger than one of the dogs in the litter right now and end up smaller than the other dog.
Yeah.
You know, there's no real way to tell. Yeah. But we figured we'd just have some fun with it and try to make some guesses here. I'm gonna predict, how big do you think he's gonna be? I'm saying Justice is gonna be about 140 to 145, full grown.
Okay.
At full grown, like 3 years when he's totally filled out.
I almost think you gotta say 4 years, because he didn't really, I feel like it took
He was about 3.5, yeah, 3.5.
About 3.5. All right, so I'm just gonna go opposite and say he's gonna be bigger than Bruce, and I'll say 155 to 160.
Okay.
I'm gonna say he's gonna have a little more beef on him than Bruce.
Okay. What do you guys think? How big do you think Justice is gonna be? We're waiting. We're holding off so you guys can comment. Put a weight down there, and then in 3 years you'll win a prize.
We'll come back to this.
We'll come back, and you guys, if somebody guesses it to the decimal, you'll win a prize. I'm not sure what that prize is yet, but you'll win it. Maybe one of these 6 T-shirts that they can get down below in the description box. Right. And Bruce is annoyed with Justice right now, so he's not giving him the time of day.
He's like, I'm gonna look this direction.
He's like, I'm gonna look over here. Like I said, January 9th, 17.2 pounds. Bruce Wayne, April 22nd, the day we picked him up. You probably didn't know that either, did you? 17.2 pounds.
Sure. You're not gonna be able to pick him up and weigh him very soon.
I know. We'll go 1 week on the 16th. On the 16th of January is 21.4. Was 5 pounds?
Yeah, like 5 pounds that first week.
5.2 pounds that first week. The next day he was 22 pounds. 2 days later he was 22.2, so you can kind of see it was a little bit slower for a couple days. And then, so on the 18th he was 22.2. The 26th he was 27.6. Another 5.4 pounds.
Yeah.
So right now he's been gaining about 5 pounds a week. The 26th.
To the first?
30 pounds.
4 pounds.
4 pounds. And then we will go to the 6th, 34.8.
Another 5?
Yep, another 5. And then we'll fast forward until his vet appointment, which was the 16th.
Yep.
At the 16th, he weighed like 41 point some pounds. He had a harness on, so I'm gonna round down to 40. Last we weighed Justice, this past Tuesday, he was 40 pounds on February 16th. Now this breed, they pretty much finish growing in length and height at 1.5 years. Typically. And I say typically because Bruce was different, and that's why I want to go into in a second. And then they're pretty much done growing in like muscle mass in their build around 3. That was not typical of Bruce. Bruce had weird growth spurts. Now, when we put him on a raw diet, I think it was November, so March, April, May, June.
It's like 9 months.
8 months old. He was 8 months old, we put him on a raw diet, and he was around 136 pounds, I remember, and his weight stopped.
Yes.
Like,
he didn't lose, but
he didn't lose, and he didn't even he literally stopped growing in height and length for a couple months, and his weight stayed even. I'm like, that's so weird. We put him on a raw diet and everything just stopped. And I think it's probably because sometimes kibble can make your dog grow too fast, which is an issue.
Right.
You know, our breeder told us when we fed him, don't feed him puppy food. Don't feed him a puppy mix
Right.
because it's going to make him even grow faster.
Yep.
And you don't want your dog growing faster. They're still going to grow the same size, but growing faster before their growth plates are closed. You don't want all that weight on their joints. It's a lot to support. And then they're also all awkward and stuff, right? So they don't need all that extra weight. Around December-ish, January, he started growing again. And then he kept growing in height and length until like 2.5.
Oh, yeah. He had some major growth spurts.
It was weird
around
because
2.5.
so a year and a half, we thought he was done growing in height and length. And he did. He stopped growing for a little bit. But around like 2.5, he had like growth spurt where he got taller and longer again. It was really weird. That's literally like a year after they're supposed to be doing that.
Right.
He had like a growth spurt. And then, like I said, they're supposed to be done filling out around 3. Like she said, it was close to 4.
Really was closer to 4.
It was very close to 4.
Where he's filled out and really maintained.
And maintained like steady.
Now, if he
much.
misses a meal, he doesn't get.
He
It
doesn't
takes a while before he gets sucked up.
Yep, it took 5 days this time.
But when he was like a year and a half to 2 years, if he missed
one meal. His face
you could
even.
see it in his face. His face obviously wasn't this big, but his face would just like suck
Sucked
right up.
So bad.
Yeah, his metabolism was just literally on fire.
Yes, and now he doesn't even need. He literally has to eat like half the amount of food.
Yeah.
Thank God. And I'm actually gonna put up on screen like a list of all JJ's weights, everything I've weighed him. Because there's more than, like I was just skipping week to week just to kind of give you guys like the average, how much he grew.
I feel like I can't even, it's not that I don't care about Justice's weights. I'm really interested to see how it compares to Bruce. But now when we look back at Bruce, like the footage you took when he was a year and a half, he just looked so long and skinny. His face was small. It was weird. Like,
it's weird.
He really didn't turn into this dog to me until like 3 to 4 years old.
Yep.
So for me, I'm like, well, it's gonna be a few years before we really know what JJ's like. Looking like, really weighing. Now that I understand the breed and how they grow.
Yes.
I mean, it could be different than Bruce, but really, like, I think it's gonna be a while, and there's gonna be ups and downs and lulls and.
Yep. I get like a lot of people DMing me on Instagram, JCCorey411. My puppy's skinny. I need to feed him more. Can't urge you guys enough to just be careful when you do that. I mean, obviously, if your puppy's like sucked up and their spine showing and stuff like that, you have to feed your dog more. But just be very careful about overfeeding your dog. And bring it back to Bruce and his growth. There was times when Kara and I were super worried. Like, what's wrong with Bruce? Why is Bruce limping?
Right.
Why is Bruce back end look like it's like, why is he limping on his back leg? Why is he limping on his front leg now?
There was a lot of those scares
There's
at the beginning.
a lot of issues like that. You know, I brought him to the vet would look him over, he looks great, blah, blah, blah. Then the vet one time noticed one leg grew more than the other leg. It all evened out after, it didn't take long, like a week, and the limp was gone. But we were like, why is he limping out of nowhere? He'd be crying. There's one time he was out on the deck screaming for no reason. I'm like, why is the dog screaming? And like, we're freaking out that he's hurt, and then he's limping around. Then he's fine the next day.
I know.
So that brings me to growing pains. I remember having growing pains as a kid. Do you remember growing pains as a kid?
No,
You barely grew. You barely grew.
I'm a shrimp. I didn't have any like major growth spurts in my lifetime, so I didn't even know this was a thing, I'll be honest.
You're not even technically 5'2", if we're being real.
This is true. Yes. But
5'1" and 3/4.
I didn't know like people and dogs went through
I remember
it.
growing pains, and I remember that's what Bruce was having.
Did you cry? Like,
I
did
was
it hurt
sometimes,
so bad
I was crying sometimes. And I'm not a tall person. I'm only 5'9".
Right.
And I remember how painful they were, and I was crying. Yeah. Bruce had them. Justice definitely has them. He'll sit there whining, and you can tell he's just in pain.
Right.
I asked the vet just to, like, is he going through growing pains? She's like, yes, most likely. That's what he's going through. She checked his hips and elbows, and they look fine. She didn't do an X-ray on them. That's the ultimate way, the only way to really tell.
Right.
But they felt fine. They weren't coming out of place. She wasn't able to extra extend them or anything like that. Going off Bruce's weights, at 13 weeks old, he was 42 pounds. At 13 weeks old, Justice was about 40 pounds.
You gotta let it go. You can't lick that on camera. We'll get demonetized.
Put the Karen away.
You cannot lick your Karen.
Don't lick your Karen. Don't lick your Red Rocket. He's panting because Justice was all over the place.
Yeah,
and
kind of got him hyped.
Was making him annoyed.
I was trying to think back to when we had Bruce, like how long I was able to lift him for, because I remember there was a period of time where I could no longer really pick him up and lift him. And you had to, because not even a weight thing, but JJ is like, he's doing the Corso thing where he's getting longer. He's not really getting like thicker. He's getting longer and a bit taller, which just makes it like he's so long. Like to go to pick him up, it's just a bit awkward.
It is.
So I'm like, at what point is it going to be sketchy for me to pick him up? I was trying to think with Bruce at what point.
I know you can pick him at 6 months because
definitely not at 6 months.
At 6 months, Bruce was about 104 pounds.
Oh heck no!
So
I don't think I picked him up then at 4 months old. If he was
at 4 months, Bruce was 55.
Doubt I was picking him up then.
June 30th, 2017, Bruce was 55 pounds. On July 21st, he was 70 pounds. On April 13th, he was 83 pounds. September 23rd, he was 104 pounds. He's just drooling all over.
He licked his Karen and then dripped on you.
Oh, you're dripping your Karen on me. That's disgusting. That's so gross. And he topped out at 155, which wasn't till like three and a half years.
Yeah.
And his head
kept
growing. Now at 3 years to now, he's 5 in March. His head
changed a lot.
His head is bigger, like
So
a lot
big.
bigger. I believe a lot of Bruce's head size is because of how much he chews. He's got that Jolly ball that you guys see, that red ball he likes. He'll just put it in his mouth, fold it in half, and just do this. So all this like muscle and stuff, it just works. Makes his jaw strong, and it just builds that block look.
What were we just talking about earlier with Justice and his
Chewing all the time.
He's chewing as a puppy more than Bruce did. Like he loves
to chew.
gnawing and chewing, so it makes me think like maybe he will have like a thicker, blockier head than Bruce.
Check out
earlier.
yesterday's video, the raw bone I gave Justice. Like he cleaned that thing, like cleaned it. There's like meat on it, like it was just clean. He just chewed all that stuff off. He loves to chew. I think he'd be good at bite work. Justice.
Probably, yeah.
Because he just loves to like bite things. He's very respectful. We've had to do a lot of correction to make sure he bites the right things. I forgot to tell you, I was playing downstairs with Justice yesterday. I had like a rope, and I moved the rope, and he literally bit my whole arm. But he did it, and he realizes my arm. Didn't even bite down. Just like pulled away and grabbed the rope. Like
really?
Yeah, he missed. Complete mouth around there. Didn't put any pressure.
He
knew, and then he grabbed his rope toy. I didn't have to correct him or anything.
The times that Bruce and Justice play, they play with like the tiny hammer, or they play with the tiny rope, and I'll put my hand on there to kind of manage it. So there's not a lot going on. I'm like hand on 2 Corso's mouths, and I haven't been bit yet. So I think that just goes to show what an awareness he already has as a puppy with what he's supposed to bite and not bite.
And I feel like that's just a lot goes to us, how we were like training him.
We started that right away.
Like day one.
We had to.
Day one, like he's taking food really aggressive, and I worked on him.
Yeah, no.
I basically wouldn't give it to him. Like what I usually do, I've done it with all my puppies. So I'll have a treat, right? And I'll like hide it in my hand and make them lick at it. If they're biting at it, I just pull away. But I make them lick at it, and I kind of slowly start to release it, and then I let them have it.
Yeah.
And then after, like, it only took him not even a full day. Like doing that a few times. Now you feed him food, and he's like super gentle, just like Bruce is. Bruce is like so tired from daycare and the not eating for a week. His eyes are glazed over.
He's had a good weekend though.
There we go.
I think the 4 to 6 months is going to be telling.
Yeah.
In terms of like where Justice is at versus Bruce, because Bruce seemed to really kind of pick it up between the 4 to 6 months. He went from 55 pounds to 104 pounds in 2 months. Mm-hmm. What? Holy catfish, Batman.
5, 10. So how many? 55, 65, 30 pounds?
Wow.
Yeah, but if you figure if they're gaining 5 pounds a week.
I know, but when you look at it and that.
Yeah.
To think about the fact that that puppy could be 100 pounds.
In a few months.
Like, yeah, I'm not picking up that dog that much longer, am I? That means come August, the end of summer, Justice could be like 100 pounds.
Yes, but.
That's going to be a lot of dog in this house.
So, June 30th, 55, September 23rd, 104, right? But then you go 5 weeks later from 104 pounds to only 116.
It slows,
So at the 6 month mark, Bruce Wayne brakes went on. Yep. And then a month later, like literally from October 30th to November 30th, he gained 7 pounds. And then 2 weeks later, another 4. Their weights are all over the place. Mm-hmm. It seems like at the 6 month mark, it slows down, at least for Bruce.
Yeah.
But again, Bruce had weird growth. He grew in height and length at 2.5.
Right.
He grew he filled out at 3.5 versus 3.
I keep forgetting Bruce was on kibble for 9 months, so Justice is 8 months. So Justice's growth may not compare at all because we've been feeding him raw from the start.
And the breeder had him on raw.
Correct. So he's truly been a raw dog the whole time.
Yep.
Speaking of raw dog.
Raw dog, we have a master class, how to feed your dog a raw diet. I'll link it down below for you guys. And if you use that link with code Jason, you do save 10%. Also, we got raw dog t-shirts and sweatshirts.
I know, I love that.
She likes my raw dog sweatshirt. You do. I came out the other night, like, I like that sweatshirt
I know, because it's got a slab of meat on it, and I like it.
So that's just like an update on Justice's growth. It sucks when he's having those growing pains, because you can tell it does bother him, and there's nothing we can do about it. We do have him on glucosamine supplement, a multivitamin supplement. I give him fish oil. Those are some things we do for his joints. All of our dogs have always been on joint supplements and fish oil. So
we're very cautious of his exercise.
Very cautious. That's true.
Jumping up and down.
Actually, let's talk about that really quick.
Okay.
Now with growth in puppies, exercise. Kara just reminded me of this. I completely forgot. You got to be very careful when you're exercising your puppy, any puppy, but especially giant breed puppies.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
They don't have like free exercise range until like a year and a half. And even now I'm cautious with Bruce. If it's wet, slippery, or muddy outside, I do not let the dogs run around and play. It would be so easy for him to like tear an ACL, hurt a shoulder, tear any ligament. So I'm very cautious. When you have a puppy, you have to be so cautious. They don't have like free range of exercise until a year and a half. You shouldn't be forcing any jumping. Be careful with stairs. I don't let Justice go up and down the stairs in the basement. I carry him up and down. That's going to have to end at some point. When Bruce goes downstairs in the basement, I'm super careful with it. They're steep stairs. And what he likes to do is he gets to like the bottom 3 and jump off them. So I basically hold his scruff all the way down, tell him to go easy. That way I force him to walk all the way down. I have a ramp for Bruce that I use sometimes to get in and out of the car if he's extra tired.
Teaching him the command easy.
Yes, teaching him
and in the right tone, it's easy.
And he'll slow, like if he's charging at a ball and I don't want him to get hurt, I'll be like, Bruce, easy. And he literally slows down.
He does.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
and
the tone and the way you say it slows him down. So I don't know if we meant to teach him that command.
We would just say it in our
he
tone.
Learned it.
That slow tone would slow him down.
Yeah.
And it's like if I'm playing with him and having him sprint and I start clapping, get it. It's like someone you're working out with and they're pumping you up, he goes harder.
Where was that command before I broke my shoulder?
Yes, right? Yes, Bruce ran. We have a video up on how he fractured her shoulder. You shouldn't be taking your puppy on a really long walk right now. Basically right now the rule with Justice is we're letting him free play. If he runs on his own, he runs on his own.
Right.
We don't force running.
I'm not putting him on a leash and taking him out for a 3-mile loop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's too much.
We don't force any type of hard exercise on him. Like Bruce, I'll put a weighted vest on him. It's not super heavy. It's like 6 pounds. And I'll like walk him a few miles, and that's perfect exercise for him.
Yep.
Sometimes I like having him do sprint work, especially up hills, builds their back end.
Right.
But we didn't let Bruce do any of that stuff until he was a year and a half.
Yeah.
So don't put a weight vest on your dog, any extra weight on them until they're fully grown, those joint plates are closed. I don't have a guide, and I've actually looked at tried to find guides online like
timeline of?
Yeah, timeline of exercise allowance on giant breed dogs, and I just can't find it anywhere. Nothing? I just know that you should wait till a year and a half before you're really having him run hard, jump, or anything like that, especially jumping. Because again, those growth plates aren't closed, so all that weight coming down in those joints just isn't good.
Yeah. Big part of why he can't go I don't even want him on the couch right now because I don't
jumping
trust
up
him
and down,
lunging off.
Yep. It's crazy how fast he grew.
Well, I'm based on Bruce's weight between the 4 to 6 month mark and Justice's 3 months and 2 weeks in a day.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of growth happening these next 2 months. That seems to be like prime time growth.
Yeah.
So
at least with him.
Definitely.
With him, anyways.
Definitely stick around because I'm going to be.
Down. We don't want it.
He listened to you.
I know. He knows what I'm talking about. We're on that level. We're on that communication level.
I'm really excited to see.
Put the pod down. No, we don't want it. Put it down.
Now I want to go pick up Justice because I feel like I'm not going to be able to tomorrow.
You're not.
I just want to hold him while I still can. Can't hold you like a baby. I'm glad he still sits on my lap like a baby, but I can't pick this dog up for the life of me. You do, but you have to brace yourself.
Yeah, him. But I'm glad he's full grown. She's like, when he was small, I want him to stay small forever. I'm like, I don't. I want him big.
I didn't know how cool he was going to be as a big dog. I didn't know how much I was going to love a giant breed until we had him, so.
Yep. And why do you love it? You like it when he cuddles with you? All that weight.
He's like a giant
Teddy
weighted
bear.
blanket.
He's like a giant teddy bear.
He's a human.
He's so soft.
Cuddles me. He hugs me. He's so affectionate, and I'm an affectionate person, so I love that I actually physically feel that love for my dog.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different with a giant breed dog.
It is.
It's very different. All right, we're gonna let Bruce Wayne go. He's like on edge from his week of wanting the females in heat, and then Justice getting to him today.
Yeah. Good job, dude. You did great today.
I didn't play with you, bro. Did drills around the house?
I gotta move over. I gotta see my dad.
Did drills around the house?
Mom, I need to hug my dad. This is the part of the video where I hug my dad. Okay, come here, Dad. I missed you. That's all. Do you want me to let Justice in?
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll let Bruce out. You wanna go see Justice? All right, Bruce. We'll see you guys later. I'm gonna let Bruce go play with Justice outside. All right, dude. You wanna go play Justice? You wanna go play Justice? Okay. Go see Justice. Go on. Go see Justice. All right,
Justice
guys.
is gonna run in to see you.
No, let him out.
And keep Justice out?
Yeah.
Nope,
All right.
stay out.
All right, guys. Everything I'm associated with down in the
First go.
description box below. This merch, tons of t-shirts down there. My ebook, tons of online training courses, good for any dog, any breed, any age. We have something for everyone. Until next time, Bruce Wayne, Jason Corey, Joey Justice, Kara Corey. We'll see you later. Peace.